Just one win away from their first World Series title. Now can Arizona keep this dream season alive and send the series back to Texas? Nathan Eovaldi with the hardest fought 6 scoreless innings you'll see. It is always Seager. Breaks up the no-hitter to start the 7th. Rounds one through. Texas takes the lead. 2-run score. Time to third. It's 3-0 Texas. It is good. Texas on the verge.
Ranger fans, you're not dreaming. The Rangers have won the World Series.
Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Chevrolet. The Braves and the Rangers facing off on a absolutely beautiful night here in Atlanta. Well, we know that the Rangers have a plethora of young studs. That has been apparent. But how about a guy like Evan Carter? He made his debut in September and then promptly found himself in the midst of a postseason run to a World Series title. Wild. Let's take a look at Carter's journey. In 2020, he was the 50th overall pick. His high school season actually got canceled due to COVID. 2021, just 32 games at low A and had a stress fracture in his back. 2022, the minor league player of the year for the Rangers. 2023, he was called to the show and the dream season ensued. And he did not disappoint. He reached base in all 17 postseason games. And I had a chance to speak with Evan Carter before the game, and I asked him, in your wildest dreams, could you even have imagined that that's how your first 2 months in the big leagues would go? Take a listen.
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously that everything kind of happened really fast, you know, AA, AAA, big leagues, playoffs, everything was just kind of a whirlwind there for sure.
You burst onto the scene in that postseason run. You set a record for doubles in the postseason. What did it take to do that?
Gosh, I guess a lot of great teammates around me making me feel really comfortable. Showing up every day and having a great time. This was a great clubhouse to be in all the time, and, you know, I just felt really welcome here from the get-go.
All right, your nickname, Full Count Carter. Your ability to work deep in counts, but how do you feel about that nickname?
It's cool. I mean, I guess it's kind of funny that I'm 32 too, so little play on the number, I guess, there as well, but it's a good nickname to have, I guess, but yeah, it's really cool.
And it's just something some random reporter came up with because he heard you were called it in the minors?
Yeah, somebody heard that I was called that, so he just kind of assumed that I'd been called that before. Never have before, and so I guess it stuck from there.
Last year, during that epic postseason run and what you were able to do, you were actually living in a hotel, is that correct?
Yeah, hotel from when I got called up all the way through the regular season and the playoffs as well too. So it was expensive and fun, but it was good.
Was it fun? I mean, what's that like living in a hotel during that time in your career?
We got really good at living out of a suitcase, I guess. So just packing up and just kind of living on the road there for a couple months.
All right, and then after you won the World Series, you were from a very small town in Tennessee, population, I believe, like 14,000 or something. They had a parade for you. You got to light the town Christmas tree. You had the marching band there who had won state. What was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. They have that parade every year, so they just kind of threw me in the mix of that. It's really cool to kind of have so many people that support you and, you know, keep up with you and want you to do well, so it means a lot.
Had you been going to that parade ever since you were little because you grew up in that town?
Yeah, it's just, you know, the Christmas parade, we always have it, and the Christmas tree lighting and stuff, so it's a really popular thing, and it's kind of cool to be a part of it.
And you lit the Christmas tree.
And we lit the tree, that's right, yeah, that was the fun part.
We love it. All right, tell me about this team this year. What are you seeing from this group, especially the similar group that you had that brought home that trophy?
Yeah, you know, I think our clubhouse is really similar. You know, we're having a lot of fun, playing really hard. Obviously, we've got some injuries right now, but I think that we're making the absolute most and getting the best out of everybody that we have right now. So it's been, obviously, we want some of our guys back, and they will be soon, but, you know, we're making the best of what we've got right now.
More than staying afloat with what you got right now. Thank you so much, Evan Carter. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Guys? And how about this high praise from Nathan Eovaldi on Carter? He said ever since he got called up, he's been poised and confident. He said he has a simple approach, and he always sticks to it. And perhaps that's why Evan Carter is among the favorites to win that AL Rookie of the Year award. Around the corner, we've got a great one here for you on Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV. That would be Chris Sale versus Andrew Heaney. That's coming at you with first pitch and lineups next from Atlanta.
what a matchup it is on a Friday night as we welcome you to Truist Park in Atlanta. Braves coming off a great road trip, won 5 of 6. The Rangers just took 3 of 4 from the Tigers. Brian Snickers, Atlanta Braves, looking for a 7th straight National League East title. Despite that run, only one World Series to show for it, and Bruce Bochy in his 27th season now as a Major League manager, his 2nd season with the Rangers, coaxed out of retirement, and he's 1 for 1, winning World Series. A heck of a job done with this club last year. Tonight's starting lineups presented by BetMGM. The Rangers lineup featuring Corey Seager, who has 16 career home runs against the Braves. That is tied for the most of any opponent in his career. You have the guys who finished 2nd and 3rd in AL MVP voting, batting 2nd and 1st in the Rangers lineup. Facing Chris Sale, making his 4th start of the season, 1-1 with a 4.58 ERA. This was one of the best arms in baseball for a long while, Spilly. He just couldn't stay healthy, and the Braves hope he is going to recapture that form.
You're right. The Braves are hoping that they get exactly Chris Sale from a couple years ago. Let's spill the beans on Chris Sale. Chop him up. That means use your stuff. The slider fastball is pretty ridiculous, especially when you consider he struck out 2,209 batters in his career, and not for Sale. Had a fantastic story. Chris Sale has never shaken off a sign from a catcher since high school. Hasn't happened, and it won't happen tonight. StatCast, it's powered by Google Cloud. It's a fastball, slider, changeup mix. You won't see it too often, even though Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach for the Atlanta Braves, is suggesting to use the changeup a little bit more, especially against lefties. We talked about the slider, the swing and miss, the chase percentage. It's ridiculous, but at the same time, Chris Sale, if the velocity is up, if he's up above 95 miles an hour, as good as the Rangers' offense is, there's going to be a ton of strikeouts tonight.
Sale with a season-high 7 strikeouts, going 7 innings, 5 earned runs allowed against Miami, his last start on Saturday. Great against the Rangers in his career. We're looking at that in some of the game notes, 8-2 all time. But his last start against Texas came back in 2021, a very different team then. That has certainly loaded up since, including at the leadoff position.
Okay, Braves fans, it's time for some Braves
So Chris Sale ready to go.
baseball.
Fans just about finished filing in on a comfortable night in Atlanta.
Chris Sale, the first guy he's going to face, Marcus Semien, is ready to rock. He actually has good numbers against Chris Sale. He's hit 2 home runs. He's only struck out once. He's walked twice in about 15 at-bats. So he's ready to go. You got to be careful.
Yep. Leadoff home run yesterday, and he went 3 for 6 in all with a homer and a double. You know, we talked about him in the open a little bit. Semien, not only as good as he is, but as durable as he is. He has only missed 1 game since the start of 2021, and he puts up tremendous numbers in that leadoff role. Already 17 driven in this year as he fouls this back, the count 0-2.
Oh, he's a tremendous human too. He's from San Francisco, went to Cal Berkeley. That's why it was a big shock when the Oakland A's moved on from Marcus Semien, because he was right down the street and he was their own. And there's the 2 homers that Marcus has hit off Chris Sale, both in an A's uniform.
Skips an off-speed pitch low and in there. Last year, Semien led the American League in hits, runs, games played, and a single-season Major League record with 835 plate appearances. He was rarely even substituted for.
Saw him in spring training, and Marcus said, we asked him after winning a World Series, how much time did you take off? So I took a week and then got after it, because he knew other players around baseball were working out already.
Semien drives one deep left field. That is gone. Another leadoff shot. Marcus Semien goes yard to begin the night. It's 1-0 Texas.
Well, Marcus is very familiar with Chris Sale, as we just pointed out, but for Chris Sale, he missed his fastball. It's 95 miles an hour down the middle. We know the Atlanta Braves have an electric leadoff hitter, but so do the Rangers.
Corey Seager rolls one to second. David Fletcher there for the Braves here tonight makes the put up.
We always have to remind ourselves Corey Seager is not very good at letting us watch replays when it's the first pitch of the at-bat, but there it is, 95, center cut. And this one flies out to left field.
That's why we dig up those tapes from games gone past, because Marcus Semien, that's his 3rd home run in 16 career at-bats against Chris Sale. He found a pitch he could hit and did not miss. I'll bring up Wyatt Langford in the 3-hole, the 22-year-old rookie. You know, amid all the controversy lately swirling around umpires, and we've talked about the pitch discipline for his rookie teammate Evan Carter, Langford with pretty good plate discipline as well, as he pops this one up. Even though he was rung up on a couple outside the strike zone earlier in the week, it did not let it phase him one bit. Calmly put away for the second out. Let's give you the Braves defense here. And again, with the injury to Ozzie Albies, things are shaking up just a little bit. Adam Duvall in left, Michael Harris in center, Acuna in right, Austin Riley, Orlando Arcia, and David Fletcher with Matt Olson around the horn in the infield, and Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate. First pitch swinging for Adolis Garcia.
95, buddy.
El Bombi, he is so much fun. This is such a fantastic story, especially when you consider how much he has gone through. Came from Cuba, was in the Cardinals organization, essentially was on waivers. Nobody picked him up. Rangers got him. Rangers, through spring training, they DFA'd him themselves, retained him, and then he comes up to the big leagues and just starts going off. Last year's postseason run before he got hurt. I mean, if you thought Corey Seager was on fire, I thought El Bombi was as hot as his shoes.
He absolutely mashed in the postseason. Bouncer to third, charging as Riley has to throw on the run. It's high, but Olson keeps his foot on the bag, and that retires the side. Semien goes deep. Rangers up 1-0. The Braves coming to bat. And a nice play from Olson to end the inning. A long look down the first baseline. That's because he's challenged that last play. And our replay review is powered by Zoom. Right off the bat, using his challenge. Let's see here, Spilly.
I think if you're going to challenge in the first inning, you can't get it wrong. And for Matt Olson, who's a big frame first baseman, one of the league's best, I think he's off the bag.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is out. Texas loses their challenge.
Wow, he loses it in the first inning.
Chris Sale must have known. He was not even throwing a warm-up pitch. He was pretty confident that the call on the field would stand at the very least. So we'll see if that comes into play. Top of the first inning, up 1-0. Bruce Bochy elects to use his challenge and comes up on the losing end. So we'll walk with the pitcher out to the mound, Andrew Heaney. The only Texas starter who has yet to go 5 innings this season. Last Saturday against Houston, he didn't make it through the 4th. He said during the week, Spilly, he's not doing the basics right now, he believes. He's not throwing first pitch strikes. He's making things a little bit harder than they have to be, not competing hard enough. The offense has helped out for Texas, certainly, but they want to get Heaney going a little bit here as he toes the rubber tonight.
Well, and more importantly for this Rangers team, after being in Detroit and using a bunch of relievers, he used Jack Leiter yesterday. You better ride, not only for your fastball that has good ride at the top of the strike zone for Andrew Heaney, but you better get through this game to give a little bit of length. There has been a call up for the Texas Rangers to add a little depth to the bullpen. But for Andrew Heaney, when you think about the stuff that he has, it's not overpowering when it comes to velocity. Four-seam fastball around 60% of the time, the slider, the change, and the curveball. But you start hearing this term, it's called an upshoot fastball. Well, what in the world is an upshoot fastball? An upshoot fastball for a hitter, it's a high spin rate fastball from a low arm slot that feels like it's popping up on it.
We'll see how the Braves handle it. Braves lineup presented by MGM. Braves lineup featuring Austin Riley. 110 home runs since 2021. That is the most among active third basemen. Everywhere you look in this Braves lineup, you've got a threat somewhere, and that begins at the top with Ronald Acuna Jr. You know, it's interesting hearing the discourse around baseball. Oh, he didn't hit his first home run of the season until Wednesday, but you look down at the numbers, he's still at 294, 5 extra base hits, and maybe the strikeout numbers are a little bit elevated, but when he's getting on base, he's stealing bases. He's reigning unanimous MVP. I don't know what you want.
I don't know what you want, and when it comes to Acuna, you just cannot take your eyes off of him.
First pitch from Heaney, catches the inside corner for strike one using the curveball to start the sequence. Acuna has homered each of the last 3 times he's faced the Rangers.
The last pitch, good example with the upshoot fastball. You throw a curveball down and in, and then you follow it up with the high spin rate fastball. Really gets on a hitter quick.
This is upstairs with the four-seam fastball there. Acuna, we were talking to Brian Snitker before the game, asking him, you asked him, like, do you think anybody's ever going to break Acuna's marks to 40-70 that season? And Snitker said, yeah, I think so.
And I was like, who? He said Acuna. The only person that can beat Acuna's 41 and 73 last year, 41 home runs, 73 stolen bases. The only guy that can do it is himself.
It's like a look back at Wednesday.
Well, this is funny to me. When I watched it off the bat, he kind of got mad at himself. He almost threw the bat down. And part of the reason why, it is such a long way in Houston to hit it to dead center, 410 feet. I think he felt like he just missed it.
Speaking of just missing.
Yeah, he just missed getting rung up.
Payoff pitch to Acuna, and a fastball misses upstairs. Acuna with his team-leading 11th walk of the season. And we'll see if those motors of his, those impressive legs that got him 73 stolen bases, will be firing. I'll bring up Orlando Arcia. He's been having a great run to start the season. 377, 8 doubles, which is second most in the National League. He leads the NL in batting average coming in. Coming off a career high last year in home runs and extra base hits.
See how much his batting average will start to drop. He had the benefit because of Ozzie Albies. Ozzie Albies is the Braves' #2 hole hitter, but after an injury that he suffered, broken toe, you now have to move the lineup around a little bit to figure it out. Now Arcia against lefties will be hitting second.
Pop foul, right side and out of play.
Arcia, crazy story in itself. After Dansby Swanson, who spent a big portion of his career, he was originally drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks, but after Dansby moved on, it was assumed that Vaughn Grissom was going to be the shortstop. Ended up being Arcia's job at the end of spring training.
Well, lo and behold, the Braves wind up trading away Vaughn Grissom. He has that much of a hold, Arcia does, on the shortstop position. Ball and 2 strikes with Acuna at first. And Arcia lifts one to deep left field. If it's fair, it is gone. It is foul. You know, interesting talking about Arcia and his role at shortstop prior to 2022. He had only appeared in one game at shortstop in his major league career, and it was as a defensive replacement. Stays alive here.
Well, Arcia, I mean, in the years that he was with the Brewers up the middle, he made some ridiculous plays for Craig Counsell. And Craig Counsell was talking about how good of a defender Arcia was. And now he's just throwing a good at bat together.
Let's give you a look at the Rangers defense. Wyatt Langford in left, Leody Taveras in center, Adolis Garcia in right, Josh Smith and Ezekiel Duran on the corners for the Rangers, with Seager and Simeon up the middle, Jonah Heim behind the plate. Back-to-back 7-pitch at bats to begin the night for Heaney, but he gets the better of Arcia for the first out.
Possibly 2 strikeouts if Andrew Heaney didn't get the 2-2 call. This one just a fastball, the upshoot fastball right past Arcia. But the challenge for Bruce Bochy tonight, he really wants to see Andrew Heaney give him some length, at least 5 innings.
Mentioned the bullpen taxed somewhat. We'll see who's available for them. Called up an extra arm in Owen White just to try to get a rested arm for them in the bullpen. First pitch misses high to Austin Riley. And quietly 30+ home runs each of the last 3 seasons for Riley. Already has a couple to his ledger this season.
Oh.
2-0. Riley, his second straight All-Star selection last year. Heaney taking a long look at first. He'll come home and he'll miss again.
This is what the Atlanta Braves do. They just wear you down. 18 pitches so far, and you only have 1 out.
And you've got Matt Olson on deck. There goes Acuna. Pitch upstairs, ball 4. Second walk of the inning. And already the Braves are threatening with last year's league leader in home runs coming to the plate.
We know A.J. Puck is now being turned into a starter with the Miami Marlins, but for Andrew Heaney, we know the start for Hunter Brown has been tough. Heaney at 20.9 pitches per inning is far too high.
He's had trouble against lefty hitters this year. 4 for 8 already allowed a homer. He's usually pretty good against them. Since the start of 2022, only 3 total home runs allowed against lefty hitters. What a spot here for Olson to do some damage. And Heaney misses badly for ball 1.
I'm out. Last year's Gold Glove winner Jonah Heim, you see a pitch mislocation by at least a couple feet. Trying to figure out, hey, what pitch do you want to throw? Let's get the release point right. So Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Texas Rangers, if he does come out, we'll point out, Maddox will put his right hand on your shoulder. He'll connect them. Does it every time. Every single time.
Field about 3/4 here. Shaded for the pole hitter Olson. 22-game hitting streak here at home, dating back to last season for Matt Olson. And 6 straight out of the strike zone for Heaney. 2-0 pitch, and there's a strike. So last year Olsen, or this year I should say Olsen, far more to the pull side.
That's a big jump when you're up to 60%.
He is the league's leading Ironman, Olsen. Take another look at this whiff.
Now hard, when you're 6'5", that's what Matt Olson's frame is, to get on top of a high fastball.
Career home runs against Texas. But he's hitting sub 200 with runners in scoring position this year, Olsen. Stays alive. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andrew Heaney, his last start Saturday against the Astros, he only went 3 2/3, but Houston went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position then. If he's able to just fight his way through it, even if he's maybe doesn't have his best stuff, that's all you need.
Andrew Heaney needs a ground ball double play more than a punch out, because you do not want to face Marcell Ozuna right now, right in the middle of a 16-game hitting streak. Career best.
2-2 low and away.
You also don't want to get into the 30 pitch range. Pitching coaches right around 35 pitches for a starter, that's the alarm bell. That's when you start seeing somebody down in the bullpen start to move around, and with 1 out at this amount of pitches, you might hear a call.
Olsen with a pop fly left side. Smith underneath it. 2 gone. An important second out, and not only the pitch is spilly, but time spent on the mound. I mean, this 10+ minutes of real time for Heaney. Try to wiggle out of this first inning. Take a look at his first 3 starts this season. His first one against the Rays, his best so far. And Ozuna keep that hitting streak alive. Acuna dancing off second draws the attention of Heaney, who steps off. Acuna already with 8 stolen bases this season, second in the National League, as Ozuna fouls this one back. You don't see extended hitting streaks all that often early in a season. The Braves noted it's the second longest hitting streak in their franchise history, prior to May 1st. Gary Sheffield, among many Braves, tied for that mark with 16 games in a row prior to May 1st. 2003 was the last time it was done. There you see the numbers on the streak for Ozuna. 1-1 pitch. Low, ball 2.
I mean, usually you come out of spring training, you feel like you're in a good place, but to be in a place where you're not only having a hit streak, I mean, we've seen some guys come out of the gate ice cold, but to hit for power.
Eight homers already, leading the National League. And this is cracked to left for a base hit. Rounding third, Ozuna. He's being sent home. The throw is cut off, and the Braves have tied it. "17 games in a row with a hit for Ozuna, as he drives in Acuna to tie the game.
Man, this guy's some kind of hot because he's so slow with his leg kick. He's sitting back. A lot of his weight is sitting on his back foot. It allows his head to see the ball longer. This is a curveball, 76 miles an hour, then it's 112 off the bat. Listen how loud that is. I think it's worth pointing out Matt Tuiasosopo is the new third base coach since we saw Ron Washington move on to manage the Angels. Wasted no time challenging the arm of Wyatt Langford in left. Langford's been DHing a ton. He's a former catcher, but they were going to challenge him.
There's Adam Duvall, already in an 0-2 hole. And he strikes out on 3 pitches to end the inning. But a couple of walks come back to bite Andrew Heaney, and the Braves have tied it 1-1.
Out their options in the midst of losing Spencer Strider. Strider had UCL surgery last Friday. He actually had a rare injury. It wasn't a UCL tear, but a bone fragment in the UCL. Take a look at their options. A call to arms, so to speak. Here are the options for the Braves. Brian Stitker said, this is why we have depth. He said, we used 13 starters last season. We usually probably use 11. But hey, he said, nobody feels sorry for you. It's never easy. And here's the thing. He said, this is how I look at it. We're going to give someone a chance to do something really, really special. So you saw that list of guys. The Braves have some solid options. And Ryan and Alex, they're going to be relying heavily right now on their lineup and their bullpen to keep those wins coming in Strider's absence.
Yeah, Tricia, I mean, people tend to forget, too. They dealt with injuries the first half of last season, too, as Jonah Heim is behind a ball and 2 strikes. Max Fried and Kyle Wright both were out a good chunk of the season last year. They only made 5 combined starts in the first half. And depth was a bit of a cause for concern pitching-wise for the Braves coming into this year if they had to deal with any sort of injury. Ground ball, left side, backhanded by Arcia, deep in the hole, long throw, got him! Nice play for the first out.
It's an incredible play when you consider the distance that Orlando Arcia has to throw. Now, Jonah Heim's a catcher, so he's not busting down the line with a high sprint speed, but notice the length of Matt Olson at first. That big body allows him to get to the baseball, covers a little extra ground, which is all you needed. Game of inches.
Well, how about this? Remember, he saved a run, or saved an out in the first inning. Olson with a long stretch. Gets it done again here to start the top half of the second.
I mean, Matt Olson has been one of the best defensive first basemen since he made it to the big leagues. I mean, he is really good over there.
Ezekiel Duran fouls this straight back.
So on this baseball, there's a chance that maybe Austin Riley could get over there, but it's too far. So with the backhand, you set your feet, and then you have to trust your first baseman. A smaller bodied first baseman would not have made that play.
This ball is shot foul up the first baseline. Looked like it was going to tail. It kind of stayed close to the line there. It's a loud strike. This Atlanta infield, we talk about what they can do offensively. Defensively, they're really strong as well. Popped up by Duran, right side, slicing towards the screen, but Olson has room. 2 gone here in the second. Josh H. Smith coming to the plate, and he's wearing a mic first.
How you doing? Josh, nice to meet you. I'm mic'd up.
Oh. Late, on time.
Oh, that's the life as a big leaguer. A little props to the guy that gave you the lead. Long way to go left field for Duvall, and he runs into the tarp. He made an introduction to Matt Tuiasosopo, third base coach of the Atlanta Braves.
Josh Smith had a huge hit in Detroit. It was a pinch hit at bat for him. He just came off first pitch he saw and ripped it. Give the Rangers a lead, and they ended up holding on. I mean, both teams, it's crazy. Atlanta Braves have won 4 straight. Rangers have won 3 straight. Something's got to give.
Smith hitting .320 to begin the year. Just 185 last year in 90 games. He's already driven in 10 runs this year. That's closing in on his season total from all of last year in 90 games. And boy, have they needed him, given that Young is on the shelf for an extended period of time.
Not an easy at bat though for Smith. Left on left against Chris Sale. We were talking about the big chase percentage. Chris Sale second in baseball in chase percentage. That was a really nice take from Josh Smith.
2-2 upstairs. Smith has cut down on his strikeout rate considerably, and he draws a walk.
That's a really good at bat. For your 7-hole hitter to go against Chris Sale, left on left, down 2 strikes, quickly down 2 strikes, and then work a walk, laying off some tough pitches. That is, Josh Smith is in a good spot.
So I'll bring up Davis Wenzel, designated hitter for the Rangers. Called up from AAA. .314 this season with AAA Round Rock, a former first-round pick of the Texas Rangers in 2019 out of Baylor. He's one of 5 former first-round picks to debut this season for Texas. We're talking about it to begin the show here tonight. They're set up well for today and for the future. Out from a breaking ball, they're 0-2.
We're looking forward to seeing his first major league hit.
He's yet to reach base in his very short major league tenure, only his 5th appearance.
It's a strange line too. I mean, 0 for 8, no strikeouts, no walks, no nothing.
Well, he's putting the ball in play.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Sale, after issuing the 2-out walk, does not let it come back to harm him. 1-1, middle 2. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus is presented by Chevrolet, official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Alex Faust, Ryan Spilborghs, Tricia Whitaker here with you in Atlanta. Interleague matchup of 2 of the last 3 World Series winners. Rangers, after ending their 62-year title drought. Andrew Heaney, a 35-pitch first inning, 15 minutes on the mound.
Hard. That's a lot of pitches. You're hoping for a real fast second inning. Up, down, get back in.
Michael Harris here at the plate. When he first came up, he was loving the spot that they had him in, the 9-hole in this order. He felt he could hide down there as a young player, kind of do his little damage, go under the radar. But they're going to have to move him around in this order, especially recently with the injuries. But also, Brian Snitker knows that he's a good enough player. You're going to have to put him in spots up in the lineup going forward. And Snit told us he can hit anywhere for the Braves, they feel.
He really can, and he has been such an impactful defender in center field, too. One of the league's best center fielders. Both these teams, Texas and Atlanta, what makes them, to me, interesting as an organization is that they have young talent that keeps refreshing.
Harris strikes out here to begin the second. Strikeout for Heaney for giving up those early walks. So let's take a look at tonight's odds, courtesy of BetMGM. Odds to win the World Series. We know the Braves are considered among baseball's best. The Yankees have certainly shot up that list. Rangers 7th World Series odds.
It's hard to go back to back.
They didn't get respect last year, remember, at the beginning of the season. And I get it because their recent run was not indicative of it, but
they went 11-0 on the road.
Right.
Which will never be, it'll never be broken. You can only tie it.
I love how their World Series rings have the word road spelled out in all capitals, not only because of that accomplishment, but because of who they beat along the way. Rays, Orioles, Astros, D-backs. Spelling it out. 11-0 on the road, and not just winning, but dominating opponents. They outscored opponents 71-29, out-homered them 18-9 on the road last year. Just astounding stuff.
Yeah, they were a buzzsaw. They were fun. They were a fun team to follow. They were a fun team to track. I started tracking them, working the American League Championship Series, the World Series run.
This ball is hit hard, deep left field. Travis d'Arnaud has given the Braves the lead. d'Arnaud with his first home run of the season. On a 3-2 pitch, he blasts it to left, and Atlanta leads 2-1.
There's no question this series is going to be matched by homers. Each team is going to use the home run ball as a weapon against each other. And even though Andrew Heaney was starting to settle in, 3 strikeouts so far, he just missed with the fastball, and d'Arnaud blasted it.
David Fletcher in the lineup. A high throw from Smith, but in time to retire the speedy Fletcher, who got called up from AAA earlier this week, making his first start of the season for the Braves. Lineup will turn over to Acuna.
There's Smith. Just gets on the side of it. Sometimes when you get on the side of the baseball and you don't set your feet entirely, you can get underneath it and make an errant throw.
Ready?
Acuna goes around, according to first base umpire, the crew chief Dan Iasonia. It's a good call. Thought he had a pitch to hit there. 0-2.
Thanks, Austin.
Acuna with a sharp ground ball to short. Seager to his left. The throw out Acuna. But Travis d'Arnaud with a solo home run. His first of the season. What do you know? Another long ball giving the Braves some offense. They lead 2-1. Apple TV Plus presented by Chevrolet. Alongside the 7-year Major League veteran Ryan Spilborghs, Trisha Whitaker is down on the field. Alex Faust here with you. Truist Park in Atlanta. What a nice night. Just a perfect night for a ball game. Comfortable conditions here in Atlanta before it gets hot and steamy here in the summer.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up, but it is Gosh, baseball in Atlanta. Had a day off yesterday. Went and saw some high school baseball in Alpharetta.
Tavares, Simeon, and Seager 9-1-2 for the Rangers. Chris Sale just 30 pitches entering the inning. And he's fallen behind 3-0 to Tavares.
Well, Chris Sale certainly brings a different kind of edge. His last start against the Marlins went 7 innings, had over 7 strikeouts, took a loss, threw a water cooler.
Don't have any expensive electronic equipment nearby. You may need to make a trip to Best Buy or something. But that's why they love him. I mean, you want a guy who's competitive.
You want to play behind a guy that's like that. It makes the position players more competitive. There's something to be said. I mean, I remember watching Roger Clemens, Dave Stewart in my childhood, Oral Hershiser, the Bulldog, like Bob Gibson for when you start going back in time. You know, some guys that have this fiery Juan Marichal. Like, there's so many. There's actually not a lot of examples of starters that carry themselves on the mound where you don't want to mess with them.
Don Drysdale, he come to mind maybe for older generation. Bouncing ball through the whole right side for a base hit. A leadoff single for Tavares. That brings up Simeon. Another pull home run for Simeon. It's something he tends to do.
He likes to get the bat head out in front. That's where the party is. And of his homers, he has 29 pulled home runs. That's nearly a 90% rate. That's tied for the 5th highest in Major League Baseball. Some people like to go line to line, but in the case of Marcus Simeon, know where your strength is.
His 12th leadoff home run since the start of last year, leading the American League, 3rd in baseball. Only Kyle Schwarber and Mookie Betts have more. And most of them to left field. Simeon shoots this up the middle, and it hangs up there for Harris. Line drive out. Simeon, we talk about the Iron Man streaks. He's right behind Matt Olson, the 2nd longest active in baseball today. His 315th straight game. I'll bring up Seager. Back-to-back multi-hit games for Seager. And he was one of several folks, I think, in the Metroplex. There's kind of a chatter going around. It was a slow start for some key guys offensively for Texas, and Seager was among them.
It's understandable. He had hernia surgery in January. Missed most of spring training.
Stop there for sure. His average, lo and behold, is right above 300 again.
All right, if you had I mean, what's your weapon of choice? A boat paddle? Think you hit that with a boat paddle?
How about a hockey stick?
Hockey stick.
Goalie one, preferably. Wow, Seager on back-to-back off-speed pitches. Nowhere close. Sale gets the better of him.
Well, and Seager's such a good hitter left on left, but this is just unfair. Talk about the 2nd highest chase percentage in all of baseball is Chris Sale with his slider.
We talked about it earlier. The chase rate for Sale is tremendous. Wyatt Langford here.
Oh, this is where the Rangers need Wyatt Langford. I mean, he's hitting in the 3 spot. This kid is giving me something special. A lot of evaluators, especially with the power that he has, his center opposite field, they think there's a ceiling for him that is really, really, really high up there. He had a huge spring training. Has yet to hit a home run in the regular season. But think about this. Last year just ripped through the minor leagues. Only 44 games. Pete Incaviglia went straight to the big leagues. John Olerud played in 6 games.
So Langford played his college ball at the University of Florida, drafted 4th overall by the Rangers last summer. 3 games in rookie ball, 24 in high A, 12 in double A, 5 in triple A. And now he's here. Fans looking for a punch out here. Ball and 2 strikes to Langford, and Sale unable to get him to chase.
As good as Langford has been, I mean, we know that there's power in his calling card, but he is really good at staying within the strike zone.
Just 1 for 13 against lefties, including his flyout in the first inning. His short major league tenure. 2-2 from Sale, and he blows it past Langford at 96. 3rd strikeout for Sale, and the Braves through 2.5 have a 2-1 lead over the Rangers. Boston Braves in 1914, the Miracle Mets in 1969, and the Texas Rangers just 2 seasons after 102 losses. Pretty remarkable stuff. Speaking of the Boston Braves, Hall of Famer Warren Spahn made his major league debut for the Boston Braves 82 years ago today. First ever retired number by the Braves franchise.
I like those nuggets. That's a good one.
It's all ties together. That's how baseball works. The fabric stitched together through generations.
So I was around the Atlanta Braves batting cage today, and something that was kind of fun is Orlando Arcia in Group 1, which includes him and Acuna, Marcell Ozuna. After the 3rd round, so the first round of batting practice, you kind of throw your hands, hit behind the baseball. Round 2, it's kind of situational. Round 3, you kind of let it fly a little bit. But after round 3, if you do not hit a home run during batting practice, during that round, any pitch, you owe 5 push-ups. And if you don't hit a home run, and on the very last pitch of that round, and you try to go for it, you owe 10. And so it was pretty fun. Normally, like a home run derby, I'm not accustomed to seeing it. But in the case of the Braves, they're hooting and hollering, and the homers that they were hitting was to dead center, to right center as an opposite field. They do it every day, and they said they get really strong because of it.
So that's their secret.
Well, I felt really bad for one player in particular. He had no business being in Group 1. And that was David Fletcher.
Oh, that's not fair. That really isn't fair.
Yeah, when you're going against Acuna and Arcia and Ozuna, those guys are hitting tanks.
Now, if they had a bunting competition, everybody would be doing push-ups.
Yeah, against David Fletcher.
Against Fletcher.
Or line drives.
Arcia pops this up in the infield. Seager is there for the first out during the commercial break. Tricia caught up with Bruce Bochy for our manager interview. It's presented by Sage.
All right, we'll start with Marcus Semien. He pulled that home run. That's his 29th pulled home run since the start of last year. That's quite the strength for him. What'd you see?
Yeah, it is. And, he gets his pitch. He's got power. You think of him as a complete hitter, but he hit the ball out of the ballpark, especially on the pull side.
Andrew Heaney, he's been working early. You said you'd like some length from him. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, he worked hard the first inning, threw a lot of balls, but the foul balls, too, catch up. They kept fouling him off, but, he's one of those guys. He can log some pitches, so hopefully he can give us 5 here.
Appreciate the time.
All right.
Guys?
All right, Tricia. This is popped up by Riley to right field, and Garcia is underneath it. You know, with Bruce Bochy, whenever he wants to hang it up, because it's on his time. Now a 4-time World Series champion. He is only the 6th manager to win 4 World Series. The others, all in the hall. Joe McCarthy, Casey Stengel, Connie Mack, Walter Alston, Joe Torre. Tremendous company. So with 2 gone, Matt Olson just got underneath it. And Garcia makes it a 1-2-3 inning, desperately needed for Andrew Heaney. '23 division titles, most of any team in the divisional era. Dodgers with 20, Yankees with 19. 6 in a row for the Braves and Brian Snitker. And very much favored to win 7 in a row.
I think growing up in the 90s, watching the Braves win pennant after pennant after pennant. Plus they had the benefit of being on the Superstation.
Ah, that's true. Which, by the way, in a week where John Sterling said goodbye, legendary announcer of the New York Yankees, people here in Atlanta would absolutely remember he was an announcer for the Braves for a while. And he created a lot of fans through all those years on TBS. Garcia, Heim, and Durant. And Garcia is gone. 4th strikeout for Sale. During the commercial break, Tricia Whitaker caught up with Brian Snitker for our manager interview presented by Sage.
All right, we will start with Travis d'Arnaud. That was a blast. His first home run of the season. How nice was that to see?
Yeah, no, it's great. Travis has been doing great. I mean, when Sean went down, you know, we're blessed to have a guy Travis's capabilities and all that he can come in and handle most of the catching.
Ozuna 17 games in a row with a hit. That one was 112 miles per hour off the bat. Good piece of hitting there.
No, he's been hitting, you know, doesn't matter where he's at in the count. I mean, the ball's been just rocketing off his bat. And he's had some kind of since last May, really, if you want to get right down to it. So I just hope he kind of stays like that for another 5 months.
We appreciate the time.
Thank you, girl.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Tricia.
Love always connecting with Brian Snitker. I mean, 48 years in the organization. He had a very special relationship with Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron was so important to the Braves for many different reasons, but empowering trainers, empowering coaches.
Going high and behind 1 and 2. Takes ball 2 here. And Snitker has done something that not even Bobby Cox did, the legend. Taken Atlanta to the postseason 6 times in 7 full seasons. The only manager in franchise history to do that. His first 7 seasons at the helm, I should say. Popped up right side. Acuna all the way there. 2 gone here in the 4th. If you want more stats for this game and other sports, Apple Sports is here. New app for real-time scores and stats available for download free in the App Store on iPhone models of iOS 17.2 or later in the US, Canada, and the UK. Speed being the key there. Like punch it into the box score here. It pops up on your phone just seconds after. Strike 1 to Ezekiel Duran. Rounds this one foul off the screen in front of the Rangers dugout.
If you're the Rangers, you're trying to keep Chris Sale from getting in a rhythm. I mean, he's just rocking, firing, just pounding the strike zone.
0-2 waved at and missed. Duran going on 3 pitches. 5 strikeouts for Sale. And he is humming. Rangers to win Rookie of the Year. And the answer coming up. Imagine that Wyatt Langford would be among the candidates to give it a shot. Ozuna, Duvall, and Harris for the Braves here. First pitch swinging. Ozuna drives it deep center field. Tavares tracks it down on the track. Just a couple of steps in front of the wall. Another hard hit ball for Ozuna.
This guy's hit the ball hard, but Leote in center field, really nice route, especially from this point of view. Notice how he's direct to it. Simple route, one read, trust his ears, because a lot of really good defenders, they're hearing the sound of the ball hit the bat to give him an idea of how far the ball's been hit.
Duvall first pitch swinging. And he pops it foul. Duvall returning to the Braves after 1 season with the Red Sox. On their roster during their World Series run in 2021. Former All-Star.
And this guy's led the league in RBIs a couple times.
Yeah, as recently as that 2021 season. 113 that year.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, I know RBIs are a byproduct of the type of teams you're involved in, but certain players have a nose for it, a knack. I felt like both the Rangers and the Braves, their general managers, Chris Young and Alex Anthopoulos, have made some really nice, shrewd moves from February on. It's not just all the moves in November, December, January. Adam Duvall was signed middle of February. It was a late sign. It was a very slow moving market, but I love the sign for Atlanta.
It's interesting for the Braves because they don't have a lot of depth in their farm system. And so they've backfilled a lot of times with veteran players. They have 0 of the top 60 prospects coming into the season, according to MLB.com. We already talked about Vaughn Grissom. He was traded to the Red Sox in the Chris Sale deal. But when you have a roster this good, why not go for it? Try to win now. Lifted to shallow left. Seager out, and he puts it away. 2 gone here in the bottom half of the 4th. Bring up Harris.
Well, part of the reason why the Atlanta Braves don't quite have the depth of the organization from a prospect standpoint is because the prospects have made it to the big leagues.
That's also true.
Michael Harris is 23 years old. You know, if this is a minor league player, he's one of the top prospects in baseball.
And he pops this one up on the first pitch to Smith. Harris is retired. And we are through 4 here in Atlanta.
I think once you start saying, hey, this guy needs a day off, they become used to having it. Where here, if you take a day off, you might get ridiculed. And you know as well as I do, this game's all mental.
Oh, 100%.
So when you become numb to the ups and downs, it becomes a lot easier to perform.
That's a great point.
You watch early work?
Yeah, these guys love it.
They freaking come out and play. Like, they can't wait.
Well, we talk about the durability of these Atlanta Braves, but also the willingness every single day.
Sal Fasano, too. I've known Sal since his playing days when he was with the Philadelphia Phillies, and he's been on the coaching staff now for quite some time. He's talking about Matt Olson It's like, how hard is it to get some of these guys to get a day off? Sal said they don't want it. They don't want it. And it's not just this group. This is a tradition that's been passed down from previous generations of Atlanta Braves. Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis. Before that, you had Andrew Jones and Chipper Jones, Martin Parado. Like, there's been a bunch of guys that they've used.
Two pitch from Sale skips away. Trish, you have more?
Yeah, guys, you want to talk about durability, you got to talk about Matt Olson. He has played all 339 games since he joined Atlanta. I spoke to him before the game and asked him, what in the world does that take? He said, well, hey, it helps. First base is right there. I don't have to take too many steps. He said it's not the most taxing position. But then, guys, he also said, Marcus Semien, he said he helped me. He showed me when I was a rookie in Oakland that you have a duty to be on the field every day and do whatever you can to do that. I loved that answer, guys. And Matt Olson, he's certainly taken Semien's advice.
No doubt.
We saw Marcus and Matt Olson make eyes at each other after Matt Olson flew out in his last at bat. Marcus was probably saying something to him.
Those Oakland teams had some gamers. Second time that Smith has lost his lid. Ball and 2 strikes. I wonder if there's a philosophical change coming to baseball, because so much has been governed by platoon splits and load management. As Smith again launches one foul, that when you have players, Atlanta has the same guys playing every single day, and it hasn't harmed them one bit.
Nope.
In fact, it's probably helped.
Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman,
Yeah.
they play every day. There's only Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. Tell you what, Josh Smith is probably really annoying to Chris Sale.
Yes. We hear so much in different sports about load management and a way to try to keep guys healthy. I wonder if there's a counter argument to that of certain sports you need to play every day. Keep things going as Smith rolls over another one to stay alive in this at bat. Nice battle here.
Well, Smith was in a 0-2 ditch, a 2-strike ditch. His first at bat works a walk. Now Chris Sale, he's throwing at least an inning and a half worth of pitches to Josh Smith this game.
Sale 11 pitches last inning. And this one a little flare towards Riley to finally retire Smith.
I'll give you an idea just how efficient Chris Sale has been. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. Here's the swing and misses outside the strike zone. 6 on sliders, 2 on 4-seam, 1 on a sinker, and 1 on a changeup. But he has been so efficient, pitch efficient. I happened to be in Boston about 3 years ago when Chris Sale set his career high for strikeouts in a game. Happened against Colorado, was in Boston. And in that game, you talk about ripping through a lineup. He struck out 17. A night in Boston.
Ground ball to short from Wenzel. 2 gone. And the sad part about Sale's tenure in Boston is you never really got to see the full Chris Sale experience because he was always hurt seemingly. And over a 3-year span, he made only 11 starts. He made 20 last year. But he had Tommy John surgery in 2020. Well, that wiped out the shortened year then. Return in August of 2021. That didn't stop Boston slide out of the postseason race. Then he had a stress fracture in his rib cage. Then he came back only to be hit by a line drive.
And he had a bike accident in there somewhere too. Yeah, I mean, he's probably pushing 3,000 strikeouts if it wasn't for the laundry list of injuries he's suffered.
Put this way, tonight, since the leadoff home run from Simeon, Rangers are 1 for 15.
5 strikeouts.
Crowd wants a 6th here against Leody Taveras. Not quite. No, there it is. A delayed called 3rd strike from Adam Beck behind home plate. And Chris Sale has another punch out. 6 of them on the night. This one at 96 miles an hour. Still 2-1 Atlanta. On Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet. Alex Faust, Ryan Spielberg, Trisha Whitaker here with you in Atlanta. Braves lead the Rangers 2-1. Go-ahead shot from Travis d'Arnaud. He's looking to add another. d'Arnaud goes yard for the 2nd time tonight. .440 feet to make it 3-1 Atlanta.
Well, d'Arnaud, his last at bat, hit the first home run of the season for himself, and this time he wastes no time. Austin Riley goes, that's pretty good. I like that. First pitch swinging, second deck. Andrew Heaney was starting to settle in. This is just an off-speed pitch that gets caught out in front. Good little home run derby. I remember seeing during batting practice, something that I was telling David Fletcher, stop trying to compete with these guys.
Eighth career multi-home run game for Travis d'Arnaud. Remember, not hit one out until today.
Good look at the side swing, how he releases the backside, gets the bat head out in front.
Called strike 3, inside corner on Fletcher. Just the 3rd strikeout for Heaney tonight in a 9-pitch 4th inning. And settled into a nice rhythm.
This is where Bruce Bochy, I mean, the challenge for Andrew Heaney has been 3rd time through the lineup. Bochy was hoping to get 5 innings of work through Heaney, but now he's unfortunately having to face the top of the lineup for the 3rd time. And the numbers are the numbers. They grow exponentially after the 2nd time through.
Acuna. The whiff to make it 1-2.
Oh, no.
Calls time to get a breather. And there are those numbers. Not kind the 3rd time through.
Now, and look at how many less at bats too. I mean, you don't want it to be a thing, right? We were talking about guys that play every day. Try not to talk about platoon splits too much or load management, but some of the numbers are the numbers. I mean, there's a reason why the game has evolved with some of the analytics that we see.
Acuna held his swing.
I mean, any hitter that faces a pitcher 3 times through, you have an idea of where the release point is in all their stuff.
Strike 3. Acuna rung up. I'll bring up Arcia.
Well, I like that for Andrew Heaney because he probably should have struck out Acuna in the 1st inning on a 2-2 pitch. This time he does get the call, especially after Chris Sale got a high fastball called to end last inning, and I probably would have guessed he had it on the check swing as well.
I'll bring up Arcia. By the way, I just want to clean up something I mentioned about Arcia before. He had a stint where he only appeared at shortstop in 1 game. But obviously he'd been a regular shortstop with the Brewers before that. But for a couple of years he was moved out of that role. 2022 he made 50 starts at second base for the Braves. When he was brought aboard by Atlanta, he played a bit in the outfield in 2021. But firmly established at short here. And Arcia fooled by an off-speed pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'm out.
Prior to the second d'Arnaud home run, Heaney had retired 8 in a row. And he gets Arcia to pop up here. Off first, Duran had a little trouble late, but manages to reel it in. Travis d'Arnaud with a multi-home run night. His second jack has made it 3-1 Atlanta. Got the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. MLBshop.com. Top of the order for the Rangers. Seager on deck with Semien here. Chris Sale, just 73 pitches through 5 innings of work. And a ground ball off of Sale. That'll trickle away and allow Semien to reach with an infield single.
So he hit a leadoff home run, and the last at bat that Semien hit, it was a hard hit to center field. He flew out, but it hit the ball hard. This time, another one up the middle, right off the edge of the glove for Chris Sale, a 6'6" frame, not able to recover. How about when Chris Sale was a freshman in high school? He was 5'8". He was 5'8". Who would have guessed that he'd grow up to be a big monster?
Leadoff man aboard for the Rangers, but Seager flared a shallow center, long way to go. Harris, and he's one of the best in the business of that. His range is tremendous in center field, and he makes the catch here for the first out.
Well, so far for Michael Harris in center field, some of the defensive metrics have not been too friendly to him, but notice how much range he does have, and I was a little worried out of Duvall coming in from left field. Duvall's played center field for a lot of his career as well. You know, you want guys that are ball hawks. You want them to go after it. Luckily, nobody ran into each other.
Langford takes ball 1.
Langford was really late in his last at bat, striking out on a pitch that was probably in the glove when Wyatt fired off his swing.
Two-year-old rookie. And Langford with a line drive up the middle for a base hit. Rounding second, Semien. He'll head to third as Harris bobbles it. Semien didn't see it initially. Went in for the slide at third. Probably wouldn't have had a chance to score anyway. Still, the Rangers have men at the corners and 1 out here in the 6th.
It's been really important for the Rangers to find some sort of right-handed bat to hit against lefties. This Rangers team much better against right-handed pitching versus lefties, and for Michael Harris, took his eye off the ball for a little bit. I think it might have been a close play at third, but that's also the benefit that you have when you're base running. Going first to third on somebody puts a little pressure on defense.
First time the Rangers have had runners in scoring position tonight. First pitch swinging for Garcia, and he puts it into the left center gap. That'll score Semien easily. Langford hustling around third. He will score, and Adolis Garcia has tied the game with a 2-run double.
Bobby's been one of the best at driving in runners all season long. And for Adolis, he's now at 20 RBIs on the season. And Wyatt Langford, who Bruce Bochy told us before the game is one of the fastest guys on the field for the Texas Rangers. I like this little off-speed pitch. Middle in, keep your hands in, release the barrel, and then watch Wyatt Langford. He's at first. As soon as it split the gap, he was going to score. Tony Beasley, the third base coach for the Rangers. Easy call for him.
Garcia, his team leading 19th and 20th runs batted in this year. And this one hit sharply in the air to right. Acuna has a beat on it, retiring high.
Some pretty healthy swings this inning for the Texas Rangers. Kind of gives you an idea. I mean, you're looking at the two top offenses in baseball since 2023, and I don't care what the back of your baseball card possibility of Cooperstown looks for. The Rangers getting a third time seeing Chris Sale are taking some much better at bats.
Ezekiel Duran. Rangers, who had only mustered 2 hits through 5 against Sale, have 3 hits this inning alone. Swinging early too on the first 10 pitches from Sale.
Well, that makes sense too, right? When you think about Chris Sale, 84 pitches, 63 of those for strikes. He's only thrown 21 balls.
Timeout is called. Well, the Braves not had great starting pitching to begin the year. The 3rd highest staff ERA in the National League. And after cruising through 5, this game is now tied. Chris Sale trying to preserve the tie here. And an off-speed pitch in on the hands. Duran has no chance at it, and it becomes a strikeout to end the inning. But the Rangers have tied it on a 2-run double from Adolis Garcia, and it's 3-3. Let's watch the minor leagues, MLB Big Inning, and pre- and post-game shows with no blackouts. Visit MLB.com/@bats for details. Truist Park in Atlanta, packed house, great matchup. A lot of attention on this series. 2 of the last 3 World Series winners. And a new pitcher into the game for Texas after Andrew Heaney does his job. Got through 5 for the first time this season. And he gives way to the rookie Jacob Latz, who had a couple cups of coffee with the Rangers last couple of years, but looks like he's here to stay now. His 10th appearance of the season, and pretty good numbers at that.
Really good numbers, and almost similar to Andrew Heaney. Nice play from Josh Smith. He'll retire Austin Riley. And when I say similar to Andrew Heaney, it's because it's a 4-seam fastball with carry and has good secondary pitches off of it. Righties, lefties, both sides are not hitting the ball very well off lat. So I love this play from Josh Smith. One of the things on the hot corner, you don't have much time for footwork, but what you do have time for is getting your eyes behind the glove.
Appeal on a check swing, but none granted. So they call it a strike. 0-1 to Olsen. 2 flyouts. And he's quickly behind 0-2.
I'm out. Good, Matt.
Franchise record 54 home runs last year. just barely off the outside edge. Latz misses low and away. Remember, there was a big decision the Braves were contemplating whether to go re-sign Freddie Freeman or change their direction. And Matt Olson has been a keeper.
Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, Andrew Jones, Matt Olson, also Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, a pair of teammates, most homers in the history of the game together. I think it's always tough. You know, you get a guy like Matt Olson, he came from Oakland, you make a trade for this after he had a franchise face in Freddie Freeman. But you went younger. Matt Olson's from this area, from Atlanta, Georgia area. It's been a match made in heaven.
He was traded spring training 2022. Promptly signed an 8-year contract extension with the Braves. Freddie Freeman, listen, it's possible for things to have worked out well for both sides here. And I know there was a lot of emotion involved with Freeman leaving Atlanta. But let's be clear, it's worked out well in LA for him too.
Yeah, it's worked out well for both. I mean, you always have those what ifs, and I think mentally I love seeing one player, one uniform. But man, Matt Olson in a Braves uniform just looks right too.
And Olson with a nice at bat to work a one-out walk. I think it's tough in this world of free agency and player salaries being what they are and player control. When players have the ability to test the market, we've seen all the high-power agents tell them they should. And more often than not, it's the right decision for the player.
Well, and the Players Union wants players to test free agency as well. I mean, that's the way that you grow the market for other players. I mean, ideally, every fan wants to see a homegrown talent stay with one team. That's what you want, especially if you grow to love them and if they're great.
I mean, that said, the Braves done a good job locking up this core for the long haul.
Well, that's something Alex Anthopoulos, this entire organization deserves incredible praise for. Being able to get Austin Riley to a below market deal, Michael Harris, Murph, Spencer Strider, unfortunately, with the injury that he has, Ronald Acuna, 8 years, $100 million. Ozzie Albies, 7 years, $35. That's how and they did it with these players that are young. It's not like they're extending a 35-year-old guy. They're extending a 22-year-old.
That's why I think there are a lot of fan bases that get really frustrated with their front offices who dither when they have players who are right there. As the count goes to 2-2 on Ozuna, right there, standing in front of you. Could be the face of your franchise for eternity. And we'll see what happens, because the price always goes up. Always.
It's like real estate.
Especially with younger players. You will never get them more cheap. Big debate going on in New York right now with Pete Alonso. Count runs full here on Ozuna.
A big pitch for Latz. Again, you don't want to add traffic, but this guy's on fire.
Payoff. Low and in, ball 4. And the go-ahead run in scoring position for the Braves here in the 6th.
So you get back-to-back walks. Matt Olson worked a nice one, especially for Latz. He had him 2 strikes. And again, Marcell Ozuna seeing the ball so big. All right, here's Mike Maddox watch. Watch his right hand. Left hand. Always on his shoulder. It's his way of grounding Mike Maddox. I mean, the Maddox family is pretty synonymous with pitching, especially here in Atlanta.
Mike was incredibly emotional at the ring ceremony for the Rangers. That meant so much for how much he's given the game. Finally get his recognition and get a World Series ring. But Rangers are in trouble here. With Olsen at second, Ozuna at first, back-to-back walks issued by Latz. And Adam Duvall at the plate. Duvall, mile-high pop-up. Everybody converging in the infield. Who wants it? And it's the third baseman, Smith.
I was shocked. Jacob Latz was trying to call for this pop-up to the infield. He wanted it, but there's a rule in baseball. It's unwritten. No pitcher is ever allowed to catch the ball. Watch. He's underneath it. He wants it. He would have missed it by 10 feet.
Harris takes strike one.
That was a big, big out for Latz just because Adam Duvall does so much 990 OPS against left-handed pitching. And now you have Michael Harris, who has a 490 OPS against lefties, left on left.
Harris 0 for 2 tonight. And Harris scalds one to right for a base hit. One hop in front of Garcia. They hold up Olsen at third, and that was a good decision. Garcia has a cannon, and Olsen would have been dead to rights.
Really nice piece of hitting left on left. Harris keeps his shoulder and hips in, but there's no way you're going to challenge the arm of Adolis Garcia. Gold Glove winner, cannon in right, and gigantic biceps.
All right, the bases are loaded. Travis d'Arnaud has already homered twice tonight. Takes outside for ball one. Braves looking for their 5th straight win. They just swept the Houston Astros. Looking to take game one against another recent world champion, the reigning ones this time. As you go back to the second, here's d'Arnaud's first.
A little off-speed pitch, middle in. Yanks it down the left field line, 5th inning, leading off. He gets a first pitch off-speed. Looks like a slider and just jumps on it. First 2 homers of the season for d'Arnaud.
2-1.
This is what makes the Atlanta Braves so relentless, is you start getting to the 8, 9, and there's still quality at bats.
This one is hit well. Deep left center field. It is a grand slam for Travis d'Arnaud. His 3rd homer of the night. And the Braves lead 7-3. So much for not having a home run coming into the night. 3 of them, including a 3rd career grand slam.
3 home runs, including a grand slam, and it just set Truist Park on fire. I mean, his swing tonight was locked in. He's been short, simple. 111 career home runs for d'Arnaud, and the last one the loudest.
This ball is popped up by David Fletcher, shallow left. Wyatt Langford comes in to make the catch against the new pitcher, Cole Winn. But the damage is done. Couple of walks, a single from Harris, and then a grand slam from d'Arnaud to make it 7-3.
All right, so what happens if you don't hit a homer?
5 push-ups. Yeah. I had 1 round so far.
Damn, bad luck for you.
Of course, you get another first pitch swing from Josh Smith and our fun, but Travis d'Arnaud, 5 push-ups. 5 push-ups leads to 3 homers. For the game, I told you these guys are doing home run derby in batting practice, and then it carries over into the game.
That was great. And this is where it just is so remarkable, this Braves team and what they can do to you. That's your number 8 hitter.
Yeah.
Chris Sale still out there for Atlanta.
This is the Rangers' number 8 hitter, and they're hoping that Davis gets his very first major league knock.
There it goes, deep left field, could be trouble. Wenzel, does he go yard? No! Duvall tracks it down in front of the wall. We nearly spoke it into existence. But it is allowed second out.
It's just a hanging slider. You can see Chris Sale's like, did he get it? You know, the Wenzel family wanted that so bad. So did the Baylor Bears. That would have been a nice name to put in your first home run log, Chris Sale.
Weak dribbler in front of the plate. Tavares rounds out. Sale firing to first for a 1-2-3-7. And another efficient inning for Sale. But get through 7. Get up and stretch. Left for the Texas Rangers. Brings us to our series trivia question. Who are the only Texas Rangers to win Rookie of the Year? The answer: Naftali Feliz, Mike Hargrove. Acuna fouls this one off. Cole Winn, we barely got a chance to tell you about him, but he is in the game for the Rangers. Recent call-up. Made his Major League debut Sunday. Perfect inning and 2/3 against the Astros. Couldn't get the call there with Heim trying to frame it. 2-1 to Acuna. Strike. Wynn, born and raised in Colorado, moved to California for high school.
As a former Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year out of Colorado. So we love Colorado kids, at least I do.
Anytime there's somebody from Santa Barbara or Colorado, we hear about it on the broadcast.
I didn't realize until I read up on Cole Winn, but he was a Colorado high school pitcher and Gatorade Player of the Year, and then won the same award in California the year after.
That's wild. Inside, ball 4, leadoff walk for Acuna. For talking about rookies. Win on the mound, Langford and left. Trisha, you have more?
Yeah, guys, you were talking about Wyatt Langford. He shot to the majors rapidly. In 2023, picked 4th overall, made his pro debut in rookie ball last July. And get this, 53 days later, found himself in AAA. Now, big leagues. And what stood out the most to Bruce Bochy with his young stud is his composure. Last weekend, he was rung up on 3 consecutive pitches out of the zone by Angel Hernandez. And get this, his 15 out-of-zone called strikes are the most in MLB. Bochy told the media after, he has no game-changing emotion, and I love that about him. Alex and Spilly, Bochy did tell us today he's young, he's got energy, he just handles everything so well. Guys, his composure is the most impressive.
I think the hardest part for a guy like Wyatt Langford is you want to play the field. If you have this type of energy, look, he's talking to himself. He's a former catcher. He wants to be involved. So beginning your career as a DH is a little bit hard on younger players.
How much did you talk to yourself?
All the time. I still do.
I can attest to that. They're the scouting grade.
So Boch was also talking about how he's trying to find some spots to get him in the outfield because right now Evan Carter's a phenomenal left fielder.
There's a strikeout, a big one as Arcia is retired. Second time he's struck out here tonight. That'll bring up Austin Riley. Occasionally we try to break out a feature here in our games on Apple TV Plus. We call field levels. We're going to lay out, give you a taste of being at the ballpark. So all the microphones are open and let the sounds of the game take over. Catch by Simeon on the line drive from Riley. 40,810 in attendance here tonight in Truist Park, just shy of a capacity.
If you're a big fan of baseball and you like to travel, it's worth coming out to this ballpark, hanging out in the Battery, which in the entire complex and development that they've made here is just, it's a little slice of baseball heaven. Not quite Iowa, but
it's a fun place, I'll tell you that. You know, the whole district down there, the Battery we talked about, is even on non-game nights, and that's the whole idea with a lot of these team owners as they build new stadiums across the country. They want to create that. This ball is socked to right. Garcia able to track it down. And Matt Olson with a loud third out. We are through 7 in Atlanta. The Braves lead by 4.
Another leadoff shot. Marcus Simeon. Darno has given the Braves the lead. Darno goes yard for the second time tonight.
All right, the bases are loaded.
Deep left center field. His third homer of the night.
Oh, what a night for Travis d'Arnaud as we welcome you back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV Plus, presented by Chevrolet. D'Arnaud's grand slam in the 6th has given Atlanta a 7-3 lead. A 3-home run night for the Braves catcher. New pitcher for Atlanta is Tyler Matzik. Will face Simeon, Seager, and Langford, the top of the Rangers order here in the 8th.
Matzik has grown to such popularity around Atlanta, dating back to an outing he had during the postseason run in 2021. Came in a scenario against the Dodgers where it was bases loaded, nobody out, and worked himself out of it. It was like a reliever's equivalent of a walk-off.
Final numbers on Chris Sale: 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Virtually untouchable through 5. Simeon is retired here. 1 gone in the 8th. Downstairs to Trish.
Yeah, guys, let's talk about Travis d'Arnaud's journey to being such a huge piece for the Braves, because it's interesting. In 2019, he resurrected his career when he came to the Rays, and I remember what Rays manager Kevin Cash said when they acquired him. I asked Kevin, I said, what do you know about Travis? He said, well, next to nothing. That's because d'Arnaud really hadn't done much in the big leagues. He was released in May from the Mets, only team that he was with in the majors to that point where he didn't have a good stint. He went to the Dodgers for a literal cup of coffee, 5 days, and then the Rays in 2019 acquired him. And the Rays credited him with a huge role in leading them to the playoffs, 16 home runs with 67 RBI, and impeccable defense with the Rays on their run to that postseason. And now, such a crucial piece to this Braves team. Such a cool journey, guys.
His brother Chase played here with the Braves for a bit. And this battery that they have with Murphy, you've got 2 tremendous big league catchers. It's not just a 1 and 2. This ball is driven deep to right field and foul, just to the right of the foul pole by Seager.
Yeah, that did not go foul by much. But you're right. I mean, Travis d'Arnaud, and for the Braves, I mean, unfortunately for Sean Murphy's a really good catcher. Hurt right during as the season started. How about 2, 3 home run games in his career, and he will be hitting 3rd next inning, 4th next inning. I kind of have Bob Horner thoughts running in my brain.
Ground ball from Seager, and the flip unsuccessful. Matzik off the mound to cover, and it was a glove flip. And just dribbles away, and imagine there will be an infield single. We'll see.
Kind of no man's land for Seager. You top it off the top, and second base can't get it. Olsen goes with the glove flip. I think Matzik had a little bit more time to slow down just because he had it beat. Yeah, he had a lot more time to slow down and probably could have gone for the glove.
Langford pops this foul.
But they score it.
And an infield single. It's just that scorers have become a little bit more generous with those things in recent years, I feel like.
It's already hard enough to hit.
But could come back. We'll see.
Oh.
Wyatt Langford, one of 2 big-time rookies here in Texas. The other, Evan Carter, off the bench here tonight. Also an outfielder. Burst onto the scene last postseason, of course. We're talking about strikes out of the zone. Trish had a great report on strikes called that were actually out of the strike zone with Langford. His plate discipline is almost too good. Only twice has he swung at pitches out of the strike zone coming into the day.
As long as he stays right there, he's going to be a really good big leaguer. If that's part of your DNA, you have to keep it that way.
Fly ball to center. Harris, no trouble. Two gone in the 8th.
Dolis last at bat hit a double, made it this game really interesting, tied it up, and he's been off to an incredible start.
Game-tying double in the 6th. Garcia made it 3-3 at the time. He can cut the deficit in half here with one swing. 20 driven in now this year. Second in the American League behind Taylor Ward, who's had a tremendous start for the Angels. Two balls and a strike. Garcia, who homered 5 times in the ALCS against Houston, 3 times in that deciding Game 7. Walk-off homer, Game 1 of the World Series in the 11th. Go back to the ALCS. He was untouchable.
He was so on fire. I mean, anything in the strike zone. There was times where we were just wondering, why are the Astros even pitching to him?
Yeah. He put up a postseason record 22 runs batted in just 15 games, and he still missed 2 games of the World Series. Garcia holds up, count runs full.
That run was really fun to be a witness to it, watch it, see how important it was to Texas, to the Rangers. They hadn't won a World Series in their franchise. For Boch to get another one, for the players that were part of it. It was special.
Strike 3 called inside corner. And Matzik leaves the runner stranded. Still 7-3. Chevrolet, official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Alex Faust, Ryan Spilborghs, Trisha Whitaker here with you in Atlanta. Braves lead 7-3. New pitcher for the Rangers is Austin Pruitt. Righty out of the bullpen, makes his 3rd appearance of the year. Face Ozuna, Duvall, and Harris.
If you're a Braves fan, you want to see at least one hitter get on. So Travis d'Arnaud has a chance to do what Bob Horner did many, many moons ago and hit 4 home runs in a game. Still have the baseball card with Bob Horner with his big glasses holding 4 baseballs.
Ozuna checks his swing. d'Arnaud is the 3rd catcher in baseball history with multiple 3-homer games. Johnny Bench and Gary Carter are the only ones to do it besides d'Arnaud. That's pretty good company. Ozuna extended his hitting streak to 17 with an RBI single in the 1st. Career high, career long, if you will. And Simeon takes a base hit away from Ozuna. Fastball that rode in on the hands and had a little English on it.
Marcus Simeon cheated up the middle. Notice where he is. He's almost right behind second base. It's 3 steps and a jump. Well timed. He's taking a hit away from the Bear, the Oso, Marcell Ozuna.
Simeon, we talked about his exploits at the plate. He's one of the best defensively in baseball too.
amazing too. When he was with Oakland, he was playing shortstop, and they brought in Ron Washington to work with him on his defense. So before Wash became the third base coach and longtime infield instructor for the Braves, whoa,
look out.
Washington worked with Marcus Semien, helped turn his career around as a shortstop, and then eventually Marcus moved to second base when he started with the Toronto Blue Jays. This is getting in someone's kitchen for Adam Duvall. Usually when you see a bat explode like that, you're getting it so far down the label, the integrity of the bat just can't take that much force.
Full count to Duvall. Strike 3 called, inner half. Maybe low, but that's the argument Duvall has.
That's a good one too. Let's take a look at pitching decisions presented by Sage. The last at bat for Travis d'Arnaud. Walk you through the at bat. It's bases loaded, gets a first pitch fastball outside, takes it, fouls the next one off, another one off the plate, and then boom. 95 on the edge. Crushed.
Speaking of crushed, Michael Harris. Adds a little insurance here in the 8th with a solo shot, and it's 8-3 Atlanta.
That's good to see Money Mike get the bat head out. First pitch off speed, and now we get a chance with Michael Harris hitting a home run. That Travis d'Arnaud gets a chance to do one thing.
How much you think he's thinking about that?
Yeah, this is every baseball player. You never hit homers when you're trying to hit homers, but everybody wants you to hit a homer. So do it. This goes back to batting practice. Hey, if you don't hit a home run on the last pitch, you have 5 push-ups.
Last player with 4 home runs in any major league game was J.D. Martinez in 2017. The Diamondbacks at the time. Pruitt is dancing around him a little bit here.
I mean, you don't want to feed him, but you also don't want to walk him.
Ground ball to short. No trouble for Seager. Although that throw a little bit wide. Duran stays on the bag. Still a 3-homer night for d'Arnaud. And it's powered the Braves to a sizable lead after 8. Of baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Beautiful night at the Battery, Truist Park, 40,000 plus on hand. Braves with a 5-run lead. Now, new pitcher in the game is Pierce Johnson. Pitched a scoreless inning on Wednesday as the Braves wrapped up a 3-game sweep over the Houston Astros. This bullpen for Atlanta Re-signed Joe Jimenez and Pierce Johnson over the offseason. Former Rocky.
Well, Pierce, when he was with Colorado last year, the Atlanta Braves saw that his high spin rate curveball and high fastball would pair really nicely. Like a fine wine with some sort of cheese.
This one skipped up on Olsen there, back pedaling well to handle it. And Johnson last year, after he was traded from the Rockies to the Braves, an ERA sub-1 in 24 appearances, then had another 3 scoreless appearances in the NLDS. Pinch hitter here for Atlanta, or for Texas, I should say, Travis Jankowski. Strike one.
Jankowski had a funny line early in the year. He hit a home run. He averages about a homer a year. So they're like, are you a big home run hitter now? He said, nope, I just hit my 1 homer for the year early. That's great.
He's a character. I've seen some of the interviews he's done. He's great with the media. Earned a spot with the Rangers last spring as a non-roster invite to spring training. He's the type of guy, too, his teammates marvel, rave about it, that he knows he's not necessarily an everyday guy. But he is one of the best guys in the clubhouse for picking somebody up, giving somebody a high five if they have a big hit. Just an incredibly supportive teammate.
He was the first-round draft pick. I remember when it happened back in 2012 for the Padres. So 44th overall pick out of Stony Brook. He's always been able to run, plays a solid defensive outfield. And now he's a World Series champ, too.
Pinch hitting here for Ezekiel Duran. Bochy's club running out of outs. Check swing from Jankowski.
It's going to be a fun series all weekend long. Evaldi versus Charlie Morton tomorrow. Michael Lorenzen, a little bit of a spot start. Darius Vines on Sunday night.
Ground ball from Jankowski up the middle. Charges up the line, but couldn't beat out the throw from Arcia on the run. Another fine play from Arcia at short, and the Rangers are down to their final out.
Talking about Jankowski, the speed down the line. Well, this is where the arm strength, usually you don't see it too often from a shortstop, but this one, quick release and just fire.
Last hope for the Rangers is Josh Smith. So Texas, 6-2 start to the year. They then drop 6 of their next 8. By beating Detroit, and it snapped a streak of 3 straight series without a series victory. They're going to drop this one here tonight. The Braves win it 8-3 off a 3-home run night from Travis d'Arnaud. Atlanta improves to a major league best 13-5. And it's the 5th straight win overall for the Braves. Chris Sale goes 7. 5 hits, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts. He was dominant for portions of tonight's game. And this home run hitting machine known as the Atlanta Braves keeps rolling.
I said they tied a Major League record last year with the 2019 Minnesota Twins, and you get it from all sorts of spots within the Braves lineup. Tonight you get it towards the bottom. You get Travis d'Arnaud with 3 pops, including a grand slam. Pretty amazing, Alex. I mean, you come to the game, you expect some guys to do something, but when it's your 8-hole hitter and Travis d'Arnaud hits a homer in the 2nd, his first of the season, gets a hanging curveball from Andrew Heaney in the 5th, and then in the 6th inning, with the bases loaded, just cap your night off with the grand salami.
Well, the man of the hour is standing by with Tricia downstairs.
Travis d'Arnaud, you hadn't had a home run this season until today, and tonight, not 1, not 2, but 3. The 3rd is a grand slam. Tell me what type of confidence you were stepping up to the plate with, because, I mean, come on, it had to be pretty high.
Yeah, I had a good flip sesh today, good tee work, and just try to keep things simple. I think early on I was trying to do too much, and it's funny, I tried to shorten up today and got rewarded for it.
Olsen, Ozuna, Harris, they get on in that moment. You step up to the plate. What's your approach?
Same, just stay short, not trying to eat up all 4 RBIs, just try to get 1, and luckily I got all 4.
869 feet of home runs for you tonight. That's a heck of a lot of power. What'd you do? Drink a couple extra protein shakes today? What was it?
I was lucky enough to sleep in today, and then I got to hang out with my kids and my wife, and had a lovely morning, so it's all because of them.
Family time, we love it. That's the key. Travis, this team, 13-5. What's special about this group, because they are cooking right now?
Everything. Most importantly, we all have fun. We all joke around with each other. It's never too soon for any joke, and we have a good time, really good time.
We love it. Travis d'Arnaud, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Alex and Spilly, let's send it back to you.
All right, Tricia, what a night for the Atlanta Braves and their catcher, Travis d'Arnaud. You mentioned the injury situation, Spilly, that's given him a lot more playing time here. And he's certainly taken advantage of it tonight. He's happy for grand slams presented by Dairy Queen.
Well, how about that? You just hang out with your kids, spend some quality time with the wifey, and then you go for a jog with your buddies later on in the evening.
Maybe a couple push-ups before the game helped. The little home run derby that they had. The Braves win their 5th straight. More late inning magic. A 3-home run night from Travis d'Arnaud and an 8-3 final here in Atlanta. We'll wrap things up right after this.